How do you take advice from a man who has no woman?
Oh, Lord, Monique then came for my guy in. Oh! I don't know if y'all seen the interview, but Monique was dropping some bombs on Club Shay Shay. Monique said something specifically around Shaq's response about opening up to women that I want to break down from a licensed therapist perspective. So you guys sit back, relax, and we gonna talk about it right now. All right, so let's get straight into it.
Should a man open up to a woman? Shaq said no. He says because if you do, they're gonna use it against you. He said because if I'm crying about something, they're gonna say the first time they get mad, they're gonna say, see you crying because your daddy said what he said.
How do you take advice from a man who has no woman?
Oh, Lord, Monique then came for my guy in. Oh! Now, is this actually fair? I'm not too sure, you know what I mean? Because, can you help somebody that is going through an experience that you necessarily never went through? You know what I mean? Like, can you be a therapist that, helps people build healthy relationships if you're not in a relationship? You know what I mean? Or never seen what a healthy relationship looks like, right? There are plenty of, professionals that, you can go to the doctor and like be getting treated for cancer, right? Or getting treated for like a diagnosis that, may be terminal or whatnot, but that doesn't necessarily mean the doctor had to have cancer to actually like treat you or know what they're talking about, right? Now that's just a caveat, I feel like that argument is always kind of like, okay, well, you never went through it, so how can you tell me? Now, in relationships, it may, there may be some teeter and tottering and things like that. Like, there's things that, even in my practice that I give a full disclaimer and I'll tell folks, I'm like, hey, look, I've never been through that, nor do I have these experiences. But, what I can suggest that we work on is this, if that's okay, or what do you feel like you need support in? You know what I mean? But Shaq has had a relationship. He has had, he's been in relationships before. So does that discredit him from actually giving relationship advice? I personally don't think so, but I also feel like the advice he gave wasn't really sound either. So, I don't agree with either. I'm kind of like in the middle. I agree with some of what Monique is saying. I disagree with some of what she's saying. I also agree with some of what Shaq was saying in his video, but also don't agree with everything he was saying.
And I love Shaq. But how do you take advice from my brother that has no one?
Okay.
All right, so is that valid to take advice from somebody that doesn't have anyone? You know what I mean? Yeah, I think it's tricky. It's tricky. It's tricky. You know what I mean? Again, I feel like the advice Shaq gave, I don't agree with. But there might be some other gems that he might be able to drop. You know what I mean? But Monique is also speaking facts as well too. If you take that advice, I would say this much: if you taking Shaq's advice based on Shaq's hurt and wherever that suggestion came from, probably not the best advice, right? So, yeah, I think that was kind of just up in the air for me right now.
If you have that person in your life and you say, listen, I'm going through, who else do you talk to at nighttime in your pillow talk? Who else do you share your life with? Who are you sharing with your life with, Shaq? Do you tell another man about your situation? And does he make you feel better? Like, who do you share your life with? So I don't agree with that.
I would say this much too, if you are in a relationship or your partnership, that what Monique is saying makes sense. It makes sense. Like, you do have to have an outlet. I sometimes feel like, men, we pick the wrong person to be with because we pick the person to be with for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? Like, men, we're not looking for like somebody we can talk to or somebody we can be comforted in, or like, it's not always an emotional connection we look to. It's usually like a physical attraction. You know what I mean? But then once we get past the physical attraction and all that stuff, and we start being with somebody for a little bit longer, we start realizing, well, it's like, maybe that person wasn't the right person for me. You know what I mean? I personally believe maybe Shaq, again, one of my favorite people in the world. I firmly believe that I don't think he's had that experience to where like a woman was able to be with him on an emotional level and not weaponize what he said. I guess again, I feel like he was opened up at some point in time and it didn't work. You know what I mean? Coming from a hurt place. So I agree with Monique with this. You do have to talk to somebody. You know, if you are single fellas, you have to, you know, have a group. It doesn't, again, like doesn't have to be a woman's per se. But if you're in a relationship, you should be able to like have these type of conversations. You should be able to, right? You should be able to have these healthier conversations.
At all. And I love my brother, but I don't agree with that. I think that makes division. Because if I got to call my girl and not talk to my husband,
Right.
when I heard Oprah say, and these are her words, not mine, she said, when I be stressed out and I be going through it after the show, I will come home and Gail could calm me down and put me to sleep.
Did Oprah say that? I never heard her say that. I guess Stedman was lacking. I don't know.
What you say?
Well, Stedman.
Okay, then you said it.
I'm going. Nope. Oh, I'm gonna get Oprah on here. I'm gonna get Oprah on the show.
But those are her words. So I believe that partnership is partnership all the way around. When I leave this earth, there is nothing my husband will not know about me, and the other way around.
I can agree with that. I can most definitely get with that. Again, Monique, you know, shout out to Monique for, you know, she said a lot of other different things in this interview, but I'm a therapist. I'm not, you know, I stay within my scope. So I'm not going to sit here and like talk about everything she talked about. But when it comes to men's mental health, you know, what Shaq said in response, I wanted to just kind of shed light on what she said. And I appreciate her for sharing that because there is some truth in what she said. But also, again, we would need more context on why Shaq said what he said. You know what I mean? Again, I feel like it's coming from a hurt place. Shout out to my guy Shaq. Again, love everything he's doing. Monique, much love to Monique, you know, and what she's doing and what she's overcame and things of that nature. But, you know, there has to be some type of, you know, balance in this statement. You know what I mean? Fellas, you know, be sure, again, when you guys are picking somebody to be with, you know, don't always look for the physical. Like physical attraction is cool. You know what I mean? That can be an initial, but don't let that be the only thing. Because once you get past, you know, that physicality and, you know, you're looking at her every day and, you know, you've kind of been past that, you know, you still might think she's fine and she's beautiful, things of that nature, but there's going to be other things you're going to need, fellas, that's going to propel you to become, you know, really like in a healthier relationship. You feel me? So just don't be relied on the physical because that's not going to last. You feel me? I appreciate y'all tapping in. Thank y'all so much. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, do all that great stuff to keep these videos, you know, in the young algorithm. Appreciate y'all. My name is Terrence Stewart. Y'all take care. Peace.